Here with Espen from Creacon.
Very good.
Well, we were going back and forth on the pronunciation, so I'd love to hear you pronounce it.
Well, it's Creacon. It's short for Creative Concept, and it's the company that I have in Bali in Indonesia.
So tell us about the entire concept. Tell us about the company.
Well, the company is basically a small company. I moved to Bali about 5.5 years ago and discovered the vast opportunity for garment industry there. So that means you also find very qualified people, you know, beading ladies, cutters, pattern makers, etc. I come from the world of ballroom dancing. I'm an ex-world champion many years ago, and I know here in America Dancing with the Stars is very popular on television.
Absolutely, yes.
So I had the background with, I always designed the dance costumes for my students at the time, and as a matter of fact, because of that, an ex-student of mine some years ago got the job to be the choreographer on the film Shall We Dance with Jennifer Lopez and Richard Gere. And she called me and said, Espen, can you make Jennifer a dress? And I said, sure, I would love to. So that little simple lilac number that she did the tango scene in, we actually made in the back room in Rome.
Wow.
Yeah. So
wow.
the world is small sometimes.
It definitely is.
Yeah, but Creacon is then my chance basically to do what I have always dreamt to do, and that is to do fashion with my inspiration from what my life has been in the dancing. And
so what has that been like for you? You know, you come from a dancing world. Tell us a little bit about the differentiation between dancing and between designing and what that's like for you now.
Well, first of all, both are really creative things, you know? So when you choreograph, you create. When you perform, you express. The same with fashion. And whether the only difference is that I am not now the performer anymore, but I am able to play around with what I love, and that is to make a woman look beautiful in my eyes, yes. But I do find a lot of similarities, a lot really.
So when did you know actually that you wanted to move into designing garments and dresses and all the different swimsuits, everything that you work on?
How much time have we got? I mean, my father was a hair designer. I grew up in back rooms, changing rooms with models while he did the fashion shows. He sat at the kitchen table creating fantasy hairstyles that he then went and competed in the World Hairdressing Championship.
Now I know you also got involved with cutting hair for women as well, right?
Yes. That was my first, let's say, serious profession after I finished schooling, but I had already started then dancing as a hobby, and it took me to international competitions all around the world, and finally after becoming a world champion, that became my new job profession. So I was a teacher, a coach, a choreographer, lecturer for seminars all over the world. And it's been, of course, a fantastic life. And in the middle of all this, I always loved to draw and create the dresses and the costumes for my students.
Well, it's amazing because not only did you work on hair, which is an art as it is, and as well as with dancing, which is an art, but also you brought all of that artistic skill that you have, the talent that you have, into designing. So tell us more about your designs. I know that your designs involves a lot of the world of dancing that's incorporated into it.
Say. I mean, I have always, I do love the look of a curved woman. I think she has to look elegant, and she has to be sensuous. She is a strong woman, and almost like the world of the femme fatales, you know,
Yes.
years back, and the Hollywood glamour queens. So all of this was also maybe something that inspired me when I was teaching dancing, because very often you have to develop the female expression in the couple, and with the look, the total look of hair, makeup, dress, everything. And I think it's the experience from that. I almost always work in stretch fabrics.
Okay.
And they have to be silky in the touch. They have to feel luxurious. And I do like you will always find black dresses in every collection.
And I noticed that you have black in most of what you design. Why the black?
It's chic. Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah, it's chic, and it's the ultimate thing. It will always work everywhere. I do think a woman that is made up and makeup and hair, and the dress that is actually fitting and accentuating her body, if it's in black and often with pieces of transparent contrast, playing with different fabrics in the same color, jet beading, I love all of that. Yeah, it's sophisticated.
Absolutely, and I know your beading is absolutely beautiful.
There is, of course, this vintage touch in styling. You see a touch of the 50s coming back, and some great casual things around. And what I do like is that there's a return to the dressed elegance in cocktail and evening dresses.
Okay.
Yes.
More, I think longer is being used now, more so than short, right?
Yeah, no, thank God. I mean, the sort of Kim Kardashian is not really my cup of tea. But I mean, I love, for example, the pencil skirts that go just above the knee or even just below. I think that, but then the heels have to be high.
Absolutely. To bring out the sexiness in the woman and look elegant. What was that moment? What was that time that made you really say, this is it, I'm designing, and stick with it and be successful like you've been successful so far?
To me, it was a kind of important change in my life. I had been through a divorce, and which is never easy. And there was a time in my life when I was 40, and I thought, I've been traveling, I've been working, I've always been there for other people. So I thought, I'm gonna do something for myself. So I moved to Italy, not knowing the language, enrolled in a okay academy in Rome. I couldn't be in Milan because I had to work with my dancing to make money at the same time. But found a place that agreed with me, and I starting to learn to design, and we talked about paper, patterns and so on when I was 40 years old, and that's a bit late. Then I was able to open a small atelier in Rome together with a friend designer, concentrating only on the dance costumes and doing wedding dresses and evening wear. And from then on, you know, a step further, then one door closed, you open another one, and I suppose I tried many things on the way, but it was not until I actually moved to Bali 5.5 years ago, and I saw the opportunity there, and I thought, now I can afford to do it. So, a bit late, but I started.
You started when you were 40 getting into design, and who really inspired you through all of this work that you've done and going through your journey? Who was your inspiration? Who was your mentor? Who was your coach?
Nobody really. But I had people that inspired me. But I basically have always gone for things myself. I've never been afraid to go wrong and then pick up the pieces and start again with something else later. So But on my road, as these signers that have always inspired me is Valentino, Jean-Paul Gaultier, and of course Dior. And
but why? What about them is so inspiring?
It's class in one way. Some are quite classical, one is very feminine, and the other one's a bit inventive and crazy. Versace was a great influence living in Italy. Yes. Yeah, and then the tragic of what happened to him. But I must say, for example, watching the couture shows, just have been in Europe, in Paris right now, Versace did a beautiful presentation.
Of course,
yeah.
Yes, always has.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I could relate to that because I saw some slight sculptured tendencies in these silhouetted dresses, and I have made a little bit of a name for what I do. I call what I do stretch couture, and that is because I like to mix non-stretch elements in with the stretch in order to get the sculptured pieces that then would enhance the female shape.
So is there any tips that you could offer new designers that are just coming into the market? Any advice? I mean, you as a mentor, as a coach, what can you advise to either fashion students or, you know, those that are just starting their career in designing?
The important thing that I probably have learned is that do believe in your dreams, and nothing is easy. And even though this is a difficult business, there is so much on the market, there are so many brilliant people here. Learn the ropes from scratch the best you can. I didn't have time to do that, so I had to hurry up a little bit. But I have a lot of experience in life that would then probably compensate for what I have lost in time doing this. But any young designer, believe in what you do, and if what you believe in is strong enough to capture attention, I'm sure you'll be successful.
So any message you have for our viewers that you want to leave our viewers with?
I would like to say, of course, it's a great opportunity for me to be here in New York at the start of New York Fashion Week, and to be able to show something which is so much part of my life right now and my great passion. And the nicest thing is when you feel that people actually are ready to show you your appreciation for what you do. And it's a great warm feeling. So thank you everybody for that. And I'm going to be a bit naughty now. And if you haven't seen any of my creations before, try and go and see them and give me that message back.
And tell our viewers where they could find your information and your designs.
Well,
where can they go?
Yeah, they go on espensalberg.com. Yes, that is my website. My collections are there, and we'll try and be as up to date as we can.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time today. I know how busy you are, and tomorrow's the show, and it's just really getting through, you know, today, really. And of course, once you're on the runway, then everything is just...
Well, we hope so.
Goes smoothly, and it will. It definitely will. A big kiss for you. Thank you so much.
We do it twice in Italy.